What's up, y'all? You ready for Hillary to be president in 2016? You ready for Bill Clinton to be the first lady? Man, and the irony is I'll bet a lot of the feminists will be voting for Hillary because of Bill. They might even mark the occasion with their tasteless antics and vote on their knees while wearing a pretty blue dress.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
That's not far-fetched. We're talking about women who like to dress up like vaginas. Hillary's not going to get all the glory for being the first female president. She's a woman. And as far as the feminists are concerned, she's already supposed to believe as they do. But a man who patronizes their ideals, now that's something to be rewarded. You think these feminists respect Hillary for standing by her man? Wrong. What they respect about Hillary is that she stood by what Bill Clinton represents. And what Bill Clinton represents is a man who validates the feminist idea that what makes you a real woman is your power to cancel the life that would have come through you. And to a feminist, that is the summit of her power. What turned feminists on about certain men are those men who patronize their twisted ideals of womanhood. And because Bill Clinton patronizes this idea, it gives him license to objectify women. Bill Clinton represents a culture that totally objectifies women. Liberals are misogynistic and are always exploiting women sexually. But the denial of the feminist mindset gives them the illusion that the woman is still in complete control. For she's not being objectified, she's sexually liberated. And if that delusion doesn't work, they can always resort to the power of sexual harassment charges. And might I add that sexual harassment sucks. Don't flip and do it to people. Like that nasty face-licking dude down in San Diego, Filner. But Filner's Sith powers aren't as strong as Bill Clinton's, though. But to Republicans, I'm going to remind you again. I warned y'all back when Obama was running, do not let the Democrat Party elect the first black president. If they do, they will push their socialist policies through him. And if you challenge him, they will accuse you of being racist, which will affect your credibility. And what was your answer to my warning? Whatever, Zoe. We're going to run John McCain. He's a maverick, and he knows how to reach across the aisle and blah, blah, boo-boo. Anyway, I keep reminding y'all that LBJ said, I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. It was Republicans that were supporting the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act to be passed. But LBJ went along with it because he saw it as an opportunity to make the black community a permanent voter stock for the Democrat Party. Do you really think the Democrat Party elected the first black president to help the black community? The black community should be doing fantastic on a broader scale then. Obama being elected president was for the Democrats to keep the black community pacified and complacent. The Democrats do things like this to keep the black community tolerant of what the Democrat liberal elite have reduced them to. Here's your food stamps, your government check, and a black president. Now you go be a good little Negro, and you keep voting Democrat so we can make America fully socialist and enjoy being the wealthy government getting fat off the people you helped give us the power to impose more taxes on. And if the people ever get tired of the crazy notion that we've become too oppressive, they won't be able to fight back because you've been giving us the power to infringe upon their Second Amendment rights, which will ultimately lead up to citizen disarmament. That's never happened before. And if the black community ever wakes up and realizes what we've been doing, there won't be enough of them to do anything about it because they've been giving us the power to control their population with abortion. And they love it. They're so sold on the idea that abortion is empowering the black community. They love that word, empowered. It's so Oprah. So y'all, despite my efforts to warn you not to let the Democrats elect the first black president, which was ignored, and look what it's costing us as the Democrats use Obama as their platinum race card to advance their agenda. I hope you will listen to me when I'm telling you that they're about to make another huge political impact by electing the first female president. Do not let them do this. It has to be you. And you have to make the case and make illustrations that show women how conservatism is a better complement for them to embrace as opposed to liberalism. The Democrats have strengthened the gates around the black community as they've distinguished themselves as the party to elect the first black president. You want them to do the same thing with a female vote too? And to any of you Republicans who think you can win the presidency with your economic policies and reflecting how much of a failure Obama's have been, you've already lost. Yes, conservatives do have the better economic policy, but you can't sell it to people who have been conditioned to be prejudiced against you as racist and sexist. What made the Republican Party great was their stance against the Democrats and slavery and segregation, so as to make sure that everyone was free to their God-given rights to pursue happiness. In the past several years, there's been a revival in the Republican Party as they remember their noble history. But one of the big problems out there is that the Democrat Party is miles ahead in brainwashing that history from people through the education system and news and entertainment media. So the Republicans have a lot of work to do to set the record straight. But we have to do it, because if they keep letting the Democrats keep promoting their version, conservatives won't be able to connect their values with the culture. And just as Republicans have to keep fighting to set the record straight about their relationship with the black community and how it's always been the Democrats who did them dirty, the Republican Party has to set the record straight about its relationship with women and how they were allies for women's suffrage. It was the Republicans who stood by women in their fight for their right to vote. But the Democrats have convinced women that they're a woman's real friend because they support their choice to kill their unborn children. I'm Alfonso Rachel with Zonation, and when I warned the GOP not to let the Democrats elect the first black president, they answered with John McCain. And not learning their lesson, they tried to beat Obama with Romney. I take it this time the GOP is going to try to beat Hillary with Chris Christie. If you want to beat Hillary, you got to do two things. You have to connect with the culture with illustrations of how conservative values are a better complement to women, which contributes to the results of a more prosperous people in general, and illustrate how liberalism is more like the so-called friend who says, "Ah, screw them squares. Let's go get drunk. I'm your friend because I'll hold your hair while you puke." And second, after you lay the groundwork to promote conservatism in the culture by presenting it in interesting ways for people to consider, you run Sarah Palin. You got about 2.5 years. We better get rolling. It's so Oprah.